Hi, this is Sir Mark, and for today, we're just going to continue our discussion with sine law. An ambiguous case occurs when a triangle is given with two sides and a non-included angle. So that stands for SSA. So let's say, for example, we have here triangle ABC. Side A is given, side B is given, and angle A is given. Let's say, for example, there are measurements given. Then we have side, and angle. Then an ambiguous case will occur. The number of possible solutions in these cases varies. We may have two triangles, one triangle, or no triangle may exist. Suppose we are given sides AB and angle A. The perpendicular height to side C from vertex C is given by B sine A. If angle A is acute, meaning to say the measure of the angle is between 0 and 90, greater than 0 but less than 90, and side A is less than B, therefore side A is shorter or smaller than the length of B, then we can have three possibilities. The first possibility, two solutions. So there are two triangles which can be formed. The second one is one solution. There is only one triangle which can be formed. And the third case or the third possibility is no solution, meaning no triangle may exist. In this case, if A is greater than the product of side B times sine A, then there are two solutions, which means two triangles will be formed. The first triangle is an obtuse triangle. This is A. And the second triangle is an acute triangle. Again, this will just happen if A is greater than the product of B and sine A. Next, if angle A is acute and A is less than B, and as we solve for B sine A, if it is equal to the measure of A or side A, then there's only one solution. That means there is only one triangle which can be formed, and that triangle is a right triangle. Remember, this is B sine A. B sine A is the perpendicular height from vertex C going to side C. So if it is equal to side A, then there's only one solution or one triangle. And lastly, if we have A less than B sine A, if the measure or side A is less than the value of B sine A after multiplying them, then there's no solution. That means no triangle will be formed. Take a look in this illustration. In this case, B sine A is greater than or longer than the measure or length of side A. So this one is longer or greater than this. So if that is the case, take a look with the triangle. There is no triangle which can be formed because there will be an opening or an open space on this side. So we cannot form the triangle. For example, in triangle ABC, AB is 20 units, AC is 12 units, and measure of angle B is 46 degrees. This is 46 degrees. Upon observation, we can tell that this is an ambiguous case because we have a side, another side, and a non-included angle which are given. So this is SSA. Remember, ambiguous case in triangles will occur if we have this given side, and unincluded angle. Now, since this is an ambiguous case, we don't know if this is really the correct or proper illustration of the triangle. Because remember, in these cases, we may have two triangles, one triangle, or no triangle existing. Since we know already that this is an example of an ambiguous case, and we know that angle B is an acute angle, then we may proceed first with checking on the number of possible solutions that we may have. First, let us determine the measure of our perpendicular height so that later we can compare whether side B, which is the side opposite angle B, is greater than, less than, or equal to the given perpendicular height. Because that will tell us whether we'll have two triangles, one triangle, or no triangle existing. Remember that the measure of our perpendicular height is always equal to the product of the side adjacent to our angle. When we say adjacent, it is the side next to our angle. In this case, we have side AB, and that measures 20. So again, the measure of our perpendicular height is equal to the measure of the adjacent side multiplied by sine of this angle. So in this case, our height is equal to 20 times sine 46 degrees. And pressing this on your calculators, 20 times sine 46, this is equal to 18.04. Now, we can now compare the measure of the side opposite to our given angle. In this case, it is 12. So let's compare 12 and our height. Our computed height is 18.04. And we know that 12 is less than 18.04. In this case, we can tell that there is no solution. So what does this mean? This only means that there is no given or there's no possible triangle to be formed with this given measurements. So in this case, whenever you try to solve for a measure of a side or for an angle, then you will always be getting math error or syntax error in your calculators because again, there is no triangle existing with these measurements in our given.